This lesson is about the unreal conditional with questions. Before we talk about the unreal conditional with questions, let's look at the unreal conditional with statements. Here are some examples. If Jason worked closer to home, he could walk to work. If you weren't taking guitar lessons, you'd take yoga classes. If my parents had a different car, they could spend less money on gas. They describe unreal conditions, conditions that don't exist. Notice that we use the simple past tense in the if clause. We use would or could and the base form of a verb in the result clause. Remember, you'd is the contraction of you would. There are no contractions with could. To change unreal conditional statements into yes/no questions, move would or could before the subject and change the period to a question mark. For example, if Jason worked closer to home, he could walk to work becomes, if Jason worked closer to home, could he walk to work? If you weren't taking guitar lessons, you'd take yoga classes becomes, if you weren't taking guitar lessons, would you take yoga classes? If my parents had a different car, they could spend less money on gas becomes, if my parents had a different car, could they spend less money on gas? To answer unreal conditional yes/no questions, we can say yes, the subject, like he, and would or could, or no, the subject, and wouldn't or couldn't. For example, we can answer the question, if Jason worked closer to home, could he walk to work? With yes, he could, or no, he couldn't. Notice the word order for unreal conditional information questions. We use a question word like what, where, who, or how, would or could, a subject like my parents, and the base form of a verb like choose. For example, if my parents bought another car, which car would they choose? Or, if you weren't taking guitar lessons, what classes would you take?